Hey guys, welcome back to The Dozens. We don't know about you, but we've been absolutely glued to our screens over the last 4 seasons of Greenleaf. All the drama following the Greenleaf family and their church is enough to remind us that no one is perfect. It's been announced that season 5 is the final season. Even though we're sad to see it go, here's our list of the 12 things we need to get closure in the final season. But before we continue, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to The Dozens for more awesome content. Number 12. The return of MAVIS. When Grace first returned to town in season 1, one of the few people she was actually glad to see was her Aunt Mavis, played by Oprah Winfrey. Her Aunt Mavis was the sister to her mother and horrible Uncle Mac. She's the only one in her family besides Grace to see Mac for who he really is, so naturally, she's the black sheep, especially since she makes her living owning and operating a nightclub, which clashes with their family's squeaky clean church image. We last see Mavis in season 2 when she spirals after losing her brother and her father. She has an interesting relationship with the different characters on the show. It's only right that she returns to see the show off. Number 11. Does Lady May get to preach? Almost every member of the Greenleaf family wants to preach, but only a couple of them ever have the opportunity to. In season 3, during her marital woes, Lady May rediscovers her passion for preaching. When May goes to visit her old friend megachurch pastor Maxine Patterson, played by Patti LaBelle, we learn that May had a promising future as a pastor, but chose to take a step back to support her husband and his ambitions to own his own church. All of the characters on this show have had some amazing growth, and Lady May is no exception. She has become more patient, loving, and selfless. Hopefully, this translates to her being on the pulpit next season. Number 10. Will we see any more of the SKANKS? We don't know definitively what happened to the SKANKS at the end of season 3. Basie SKANKS was a bishop at Triumph Church who offered Jacob a job as pastor in order to set him up to take the fall for a money laundering scheme as revenge for Bishop Greenleaf accidentally killing his father. His sister Rochelle was essentially unknown and used that to her advantage to worm her way into CALVARY, break up the bishop's marriage, and set him up for money laundering as well. After their plans to leave the Greenleaf men in jail were foiled, it seemed like they were headed out of town. The last we see them, they're being followed by some shady muscle we're only left to assume is someone Basie crossed while feeding his gambling habit. Both Basie and Rochelle seem hell-bent on revenge, as if they weren't going to take their defeat lying down. Will they pop up in the last season to finish the job? Number 9. Will Sophia find her way back to the church? In season 3, Sophia has a health scare that leaves her infertile. Since she's always planned to get married and have children, she starts to question her faith in God's plan for her. Naturally, since she's questioning her belief, she starts to rebel. She stops going to church and stops listening to basic reasoning. Her new attitude is starting to damage her relationships and put her in new ones that don't seem as good for her. Let's hope that in the final season, she sees the light. Number 8. Will Noah return? Noah and Grace have always seemed like they were meant to be, but when Grace ran away when she was younger, she left him behind. When she returns, they pick up where they left off, threatening Noah's relationship with his fiancée. In season 4, we learn that Noah and his wife divorced after his wife learns that he and Grace shared a child, even though he just learned of the child's existence himself. Noah was said to have come back to town to get to know his son, but we didn't see him in the latter half of season 4. It seems like now is a good time for him to return and be there for his son, as well as move forward with Grace, since neither of them has ties to anyone else. Number 7. Will Jacob finally get to prove himself as a leader? When we first meet Jacob in season 1, he was a cheater with little ambition to take advantage of the opportunities laid before him. After almost losing his wife, family, and job, he seems to put an earnest effort into changing his ways for good. He takes an offer in a leadership role at Triumph as a means to start over. He even resists the temptation of straying when he developed real feelings for Tasha SKANKS. He eventually rejoins his family and is willing to put in the work to earn what he had before. We hope that in the last season, we finally see him excel as a pastor without the hindrances of outside influences. Number 6. Will Charity find purpose? Ever since her husband came out of the closet in season 1, Charity has been struggling to find her way. She desperately wants to connect to someone but couldn't find the right person. She seemingly lost her passion for the one thing she was good at, singing. She set her sights on preaching as a way to be taken more seriously by her family. When she feels unsupported by them, she turns her back on them to help Harmony and Hope's Phil DeMars take the church. All of that only for her to be left with nothing in the end but her family's disappointment. We hope that in the final season, she finds the love and the therapy she desperately needs. Number 5. Will Zora and Sophia mend their sisterhood? When Sophia first meets her cousin Zora in season 1, they become as thick as thieves. But Zora fell into an abusive relationship that tested her relationship with her family. Then Sophia experienced some health issues that tested her faith. So naturally, their relationship deteriorated. This last season is an opportunity for them to get on the same page and bond. They are going to need each other as their family drama comes to a head. Number 4. Will the Bishop and Lady May remarry? The Bishop and Lady May have ruled the Greenleaf family home in Calvary for years. But when hard truths come to light, they had no choice but to face them. They had to first accept that Mac, the Bishop's trusted advisor and Lady May's brother, sexually abused their daughter Faith right under their noses. That abuse would eventually lead to her depression and suicide. They had to also accept each other's infidelity. The Bishop's with Mavis, his wife's sister, and Lady May's with Raymond, the Bishop's friend, who we later learn is Grace's actual father. Pile on dissent within the ranks at Calvary, Rochelle trying to seduce the Bishop, and Lady May searching for her passion. It would be hard for any marriage to survive. Alas, they put all that aside and were reconciling in season 4. Hopefully we see them remarried and ready to start over in the final season. Number 3. Will Jacob and KARESSA survive? KARESSA is tired. She's been through a lot over the last 4 seasons with her husband Jacob's infidelity and the Greenleaf family drama. She and Jacob's relationship seemed to be getting better, but KARESSA definitely ran out of patience with his family always coming first. So she strays. At the end of season 4, Jacob learns about her affair, but KARESSA refuses to accept his request for divorce, stating that she has some juicy information on the Greenleaf family that'll finally make her queen of the castle. It doesn't seem like there's much of a future for these two, but you never know with this show. Number 2. Does Grace openly admit that she has a son? It seems to us that the key to solving many of Grace's problems is admitting that she has a son. Easier said than done, we know. Thanks to Charity, Phil DeMars learned that Grace not only had a child when she was a teen, gave him away, and neglected him when he later found her and asked for help when he was older, she also provided an alibi for his most recent robbery. He used this information to blackmail her out of the church. We like to think that as a pastor, it would be easier to admit to making the best of your mistakes than it would be to concede to blackmail. But alas, Grace chose the latter and ended up relinquishing the last foothold her family had in the church. Although she did it to keep her son out of jail, we have a feeling she may have made things worse. Number 1. Will the Greenleafs get Calvary back? Ever since some of the Greenleaf family secrets came to light, there have been those in the church's administration who've been fighting to get them out. At the end of season 3, they succeeded and the church was sold to Harmony and Hope, a mega church known for buying and dismantling other churches across the country. At the start of season 4, we see Grace as a figurehead of the church as a way to keep a hold of the longtime parishioners faithful to the Greenleafs, all while Harmony and Hope pulled the strings. As the season went on, we learned that Harmony and Hope had their fingers in many jars and didn't have the best intentions for Calvary. Let's hope that the Greenleafs can find their way back and gain redemption in the end. So there you have it, the 12 things we need to see in the final season of Greenleaf. Do you agree with our picks? Is there something that we should add? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to hit the bell button to get a notification on our newest videos.